see. So it's Thursday night. We are in Strafford, Missouri, just east of Springfield, kind of right next to Springfield, Missouri. And you're probably like, well, you're that close, why not just roll on in? I would love to, but I used, today I drove 10 hours and 50 minutes of my 11 hours of allowed drive time. So I only had like 10 minutes of drive time left when I parked, but I kind of planned it out to where I knew that tonight I would make it to about Springfield or so. So, Strafford's right next to it. The Loves was actually where I wanted to stay, so I could get a shower tonight, but it was plumb full. But there's a McDonald's right next to the Loves, and they got a real big parking lot behind them. And I've always seen trucks parked here before, so I just parked here, and I was still close enough to the Loves that it like recognized, where I was at, so it let me check in the shower on my phone. And there was like 5 people in line ahead of me, so I finished up some of my paperwork, and then I just walked over there because it literally took me 5 minutes to walk over there. So got me a shower, so that was nice. Been a few days. You're not always afforded the luxury of getting a shower every night out here, that's for sure. There's been times where, I've had the opportunity where I could take one every night, and sometimes it's every other day. And then sometimes you get on these runs where you end up running late, and it's late at night by the time you get parked, and all the places you want to stop are full, and so you end up just having to try to find some place to park, and you just gotta kind of keep rolling. Get that shower when you can. But so anyway, so tomorrow is Friday. We'll be and I say we because Annabelle is with me. So some of you that follow me on Facebook, I put some pictures of her the other day when we was out in Arizona, and we were at a shipper getting some produce loaded up, and she was sitting up checking out the scenery, making sure everything was on the up and up. So tomorrow we'll roll into St. Louis. Got about a 3.5 hour drive to get to where we're going to drop this trailer out downtown, and then I think we're going to bobtail home for the weekend. So we ran out to Arizona, all the way out. We went out as far as Yuma, Arizona, which is out there about as far southwestern Arizona as you can get. Out to Yuma, picked up some produce out there as well. We took a load out to Phoenix. I think it was like ham and some stuff like that. Dropped it off, and then we had 2 places we had to pick up. One was right there outside of Phoenix, and the other one was all the way over in Yuma. But it's all the way over there, right next to California and Mexico. And actually, when we were coming back, right outside of Yuma, when I started heading east, I had to actually go through a border checkpoint, just because it's that close to the border of Mexico that I guess they want to make sure no one's, smuggling anything across the border. But so didn't actually have to stop. We was able to just kind of roll through it, so that was nice. And then just rolled on from there. That was Tuesday evening when we left Yuma. Drove, I wanted to at least get somewhere between Phoenix and Flagstaff, because I didn't want to have to deal with the Wednesday morning traffic in Phoenix. Did that, and then drove 10, I think it's about 10 hours and 20 minutes yesterday. Made it to, we stopped in New Mexico at a Pilot or Flying J, I don't remember. It was about 20 minutes west of the New Mexico-Texas border. So I had a pretty good day yesterday, and then drove 671 miles today from that location we were at in New Mexico all the way to Strafford. So drove across the panhandle of Texas, all the way across to Oklahoma and into Missouri. But so still here at Cedoff. Things are going good. Been getting some pretty good miles. This will be a good week. I'll have about 3,000 by the time I get home. So that'll be pretty good. I've been averaging, about 2,500 a week. I've had a couple of these, 3,000 weeks, but I'm still running on the weekends, like every other weekend, and then I'll be home this weekend. So, but it's still going good. I'm still liking it. It's something that I've been really kicking around, been thinking a lot about. It didn't take me long when I got into this trucking thing to kind of figure out that, you can make pretty good money out here. You can make good money as a company driver, but you can also make there's a lot of money out here if you are like an owner operator, like if you actually own the truck, and you're just leased on to somebody. So, that's something that, I figured out pretty quick. And so I kind of started thinking like, well, if oil and gas don't come back, maybe this is the next best thing. It's obviously a stable thing. And, I talked to a driver last night who's an owner operator. Honestly, the only reason why I even stopped to talk to him, well, he was parked next to me, and he had a really, really sharp looking Peterbilt 389 long nose. So when I went in, because I got reserved parking, so when I went in to get my receipt to stick it up in the window so nobody came banging on my door in the middle of the night, he had his window rolled down. So I just stopped just to say, hey man, it was like that real deep blue color, which is like my favorite color. And I told him, I said, man, that's a really nice, that's a sharp ass truck, is what I told him. And he said, man, I appreciate it. So we got to talking, and he's an owner operator. He's leased onto a company, and he actually owns his trailer too. So his truck is a 2021 Peterbilt 389 long nose, and he's got a 2019 Great Dane reefer trailer. And man, just the whole setup was just sharp. But he'd been trucking for about 25 years, and I ended up talking to him for well over an hour. We just kind of, it was weird. It was like I told my wife, I said it was almost like this was some guy that like I've been friends with forever and just hadn't seen in a while, and we just sat there and caught up. I mean, we talked about all kinds of stuff, where we grew up, how we grew up, and our kids, our families, where we were living, kind of how we got started in this. And so, but he put a few things into perspective for me last night, and it really got me to thinking today. So I don't know, just there's so many different things you can do. You can do these whole lease purchase things, or you can be a lease operator. And I know if anybody watches this that drives a truck, I mean, I know you're gonna say, well, leasing is not the way to go. But at the same time, I don't have the finances to go buy a truck. Even if I bought a used truck, I mean, I could probably get a loan for it, whatever. But it's kind of one of those things where and this guy that I talked to, he'd been driving for 25 years. He'd been an owner operator for quite a while now, and he's just leased onto a company. They're basically paying him to use his truck and trailer. So he makes pretty good money doing that. But he's worked his way up to where he's at now. He told me last night, so this will probably be the last truck I ever buy. He said this truck will last me 10 years. And he said, then honestly after that, he said I'll probably be looking at retirement anyways. And I said, yeah, so that's a pretty good point. So to just want to jump right into being an owner operator, or doing something like that, I mean, you kind of have to pace yourself. And for me it's a little difficult because I'm always like, I want to jump into it. I want it to be going good, great, right away, but it doesn't always work like that, or it does not work like that. So you just gotta be patient. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna keep exploring my options, because I look at load boards all the time, and man, if I owned a truck, like there's a lot of money out there to be made. And you really, being an owner operator, or even being a lease operator, you're not really chasing miles anymore. As a company driver, you're chasing miles because you got to get the miles, because that's how you get paid. You get paid by the mile. Owner operators and lease operators, they're just looking for the best loads, no matter how far or how short of a drive it is. And if it's a short drive and it pays really well, I mean, that's the one that everybody wants. So so it kind of gives you a little bit of freedom. As far as, you don't have to feel like you got to drive 600 miles a day. You might have to, but, in the long run, it'll be worth it. So I don't know. I'm going to keep kicking things around. There's tons of options to explore, but I really think at the end of the day, the end game for me, what I think will be best for me and my family is to eventually own a truck, and maybe eventually own multiple trucks, 2 or 3 trucks, have a small little I don't want to say fleet, because when I think of fleet, you think of 50 plus trucks, but have a few trucks to where you can have drivers in them, and you can pay them a little bit better than what they would as a company driver somewhere else, and you're still making pretty good money, having someone else drive your truck. So there's a lot of things to consider that goes into that, and and I'm not going to rule out doing a lease thing with some company somewhere, because maybe that's how, maybe that for me, maybe that's the best way to get started. I know it's not ideal for everybody, and I'm sure some people will tell me that's the craziest thing you could ever do. Maybe it is, so, but I don't know. So I just kind of wanted to just kind of talk about that for a minute, because it's something that I've really been thinking about. And even after talking to that fellow last night, it really kind of it got the wheels turning, more than they had been, because and the company that he's leased onto, I've seen their trucks, and I've looked at their website before. They have company drivers and they have lease drivers, but and they got sharp equipment. I mean, it's sharp. I think a lot of their trucks are like the newer style, like the 579 Peterbilts. But that guy was telling me last night that even all the 579s, they're all 18 speeds manuals, so they don't have any automatic trucks, which I think I really want to. I'd like to get back into driving a manual. Me personally, I like a manual better. I mean, the automatics have their benefits, but I don't know. There's just something about driving a manual. I enjoy it more, honestly. But so yeah, so they've got real, and they the 579s, they have the Peterbilts. They've put money into them, so I mean they're very, very sharp. But I had looked on their website, and you got to have like 2.5 years of experience just to even be a company driver with them. So maybe that's something to work towards. There's a lot of companies that do lease options out there, but you got to do a lot of research, and I've done research on a lot of them already, and there's a couple that I would really consider. Just kind of have to wait, see how things play out. We've got some things going on at home that we're trying to kind of get. Once we kind of get that stuff ironed out, it's going to kind of make things a little bit easier to make these other decisions. So, but I mean, for now, still trucking, still enjoying it. Going out to Arizona was cool. A really cool scenery out there. Just man, saw. It's crazy. You see. When I worked in West Texas, I would see parts of like the lower southeast corner of New Mexico, and I mean that's like a shithole out there. Sorry if you live there, but it is. But I'd always see like these, kind of like valleys and stuff like that, where it reminds you of like the old Western movies and what it was really like in the West. But I'm telling you, when you go across northern New Mexico and into Arizona and then down through Phoenix, that's what the West was. I mean, that, seeing all the mountains with the snow on the caps, and all the valleys, and just the twisting and turning going up through some of those mountains over there was it was really cool. It was really cool to see. Always seen in the movies, and this is gonna sound crazy, but you always see cactuses and stuff like that, but like here they are out here in these in these fields right off the interstate. The cactus, it's going this way and that way, and it's just, I don't know, it was kind of like, it was cool. It's something I had never really seen before. The full-size cactuses. So it was neat to see that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed going out there. Like I said, we're headed back to St. Louis now. I'm not sure what next week holds. They said something about running up through Iowa and Nebraska, something like that, and then coming back down into Arkansas, make a delivery. So sounds like it could be another good week of running. But so yeah, so we're still running. Annabelle's been not much of a co-pilot. She likes to sleep, but she's enjoying being here because she's 12 years old now, so she ain't much on the other dogs at the house. So she would much rather be out here with me because she can just chill, and she loves it. So, and I enjoy having her. So, but anyways, but that's it for now. Just kind of wanted to give you all an update on where we've been, where we're going, what's going on, what we're thinking. So, But all right, well, y'all take care, and try to get another one to you soon. See ya.